The New Development Bank, also referred to as the Brics Development Bank, is a multilateral development bank established by the BRIC states. It was created in July 2015 by the BRIC countries, which include Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Together, they have established the New Development Bank to support public and private sustainable projects through the administration of various financial instruments, such as loans, guarantees, and equity participation. To support these projects, it shall also collaborate with international organizations and other financial entities. The bank's agreement states that any member of the United Nations may be a member of the bank as well to help contribute to the cause. It has three main objectives: the promotion of infrastructure and sustainable development projects, which will have a significant impact on the development of the member countries, establishing an extensive network of global partnerships with other multilateral development institutions and national development banks, building a balanced project portfolio to give a proper respect to their own geographic location, financing requirements, and other factors.
DV is important because it accounts for about 40% of the world's population, although they account for over 1/5 of the global economy. Together, they garner only 11% of the votes at IMF. Each of the BRICS government has ownership of 1/5 of the share of the bank, which translates into an equal say in decision making, same value between their votes. This is unlike the World Bank or the IMF, where decision-making power is heavily shifted in favor of one particular set of countries, the economist said. How will it be run? Well, the bank will begin with a subscribed capital of $50 billion divided equally between its 5 founders. The group has also agreed to a $100 billion currency exchange reserve, which member countries can tap during balance of payment problems. China will contribute the major portion of the currency pool. Brazil, India, and Russia will contribute $18 billion each, while South Africa will chip in with $5 billion. If there's a crisis, China will ask for half of its contribution, South Africa for double, and others can get back what they had invested. The bank will be based in Shanghai. After a 5-year term at the helm by an Indian, the president post would by turn go to a Brazilian and then to a Russian. The bank can add more members. Media reports suggest Russia has invited Greece, which has a huge economic battle on its hands, to be a member. Even if more members are added, the capital shares of BRICS cannot drop below 55%. What do the countries win with this new institution? For China, this is an opportunity to explore its infrastructure overcapacity, reduce its reserves, and improve financial return on its external assets, while at the same time learn to play a leading role among the developing countries. For India and South Africa, this promises to be a welcome source of much-needed infrastructure financing. For Russia, the benefit at that moment is largely seen to be political, given that the country has been isolated in the international arena over the Ukraine issue. For Brazil, finally, the new development bank could bring financing for its oil exploration projects, according to the KV Kamath, an Indian veteran banker.
Now we are going to talk about how does it challenge the current global economic governance. Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa have been defying the West. The BRICS Bank combines features both of the World Bank and of the International Monetary Fund, with the purpose of providing loans to poor countries across the world. This initiative could be seen as one of the first serious institutional challenges to the global economic order established at Bretton Woods more than 17 years ago. In recent years, advanced countries have damaged their own credibility as responsible economic stakeholders and have failed to fully accommodate the rise of the new powers.
There seems to be a widely shared belief among Western analysts that it is difficult to take the new BRICS Bank seriously. The differences among the 5 are really significant. Moreover, they think that the NDB will be too small to present an actual challenge to the World Bank, given its limited capital base, $100 billion compared to the $232 billion of the World Bank. However, its creation does signal a growing dissatisfaction among developing nations with the largely US-dominated policies that are applied by both the IMF and the World Bank. In addition, it will allow the Brics to reduce their overwhelming dependence on the US dollar. More than anything, the founding members want to establish themselves as leaders in global affairs. Secondly, they seek to promote economic opportunity. Although the bank was set up with the view of supporting infrastructure programs across the developing world, its capital is not sufficiently large to make a notable difference, but the enormity of the infrastructure needs could make the bank viable. If managed well, the Brics Bank could make a useful contribution to global development. It was set up on an equal share basis. Yet the biggest challenge for the 5 countries will be to overcome their internal differences and disagreements, which will likely make it difficult to reach a consensus with regard to the use of the funds. Only time will tell whether the new development bank is an empty vessel or a functional lending institution capable of measuring up to the IMF and the World Bank. But as the president of this bank, Kamath, has stated, the objective is not to challenge or replace the existing system of development finance. It is instead to improve and complement the system. Hence, the creation of the Brics banks must be seen not as a threat but as a motivation for the existing institutions such as the World Bank or the IMF to reform themselves, which is clearly necessary. This should open their eyes to reality, begin creating projects not only for the developed countries but also for the developing ones, and start giving the growing economies the recognition they deserve.